Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea and I have been selling on Etsy for 8 years. I have an embroidery business on Etsy, and this YouTube channel is just where I share a day in the lives and things I've learned about Etsy, like SEO and shipping and just all the good Etsy things. So this is where we talk about Etsy on this YouTube channel. Sometimes we talk about embroidery specific things, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Every time someone walks into my shop space, which is where I am right now, they always say, oh my gosh, this place is so clean, which is shocking because right now it's not that clean, but they always talk about how clean it is. And so this video is just gonna be me explaining how we keep our embroidery studio organized and clean. So to be 100% honest with you guys, I don't think of myself as a clean freak, but my husband most definitely does. I just think I like things a normal amount of clean, but I guess maybe my normal amount of clean and what my husband thinks is a normal amount of clean are not the same thing, which is funny. But basically he thinks I'm a total clean freak. And I have to say that when people walk into the shop, they're always like, oh my gosh, you keep this place so clean. So I guess I am a clean freak. I don't really know. Anyways, this video is all about how we keep the space clean. I do think that part of the reason why people think this place is so clean is because it has white floors, which just makes it look really bright. And I really do not have a lot of clutter around here. I hate clutter. Anything that we're not using, I get rid of. So I think that's part of the reason why people think it looks clean is just white floors, bright wall paint. Like even though it's pink, it's still very bright, and no clutter in the shop. Before we officially dive in, something that you guys need to know about me in both my shop space and my home space, I am not really a fancy organization hacks type of person. I don't really have like any Pinterest worthy type of hacks. The only thing I can think of is like our thread cart, but like basically whenever you get on Pinterest and you see all of those like really fancy hacks to make stuff super easy and all that kind of stuff, that is not me. It's never been me. I'm not the person that makes sure my spice rack is aesthetic and all that sort of stuff. I am not a fancy organizations hack type of person. The only real hack that I can say, that like the real tip I have, is that we are I am very averse to clutter. If we are not using something, I get rid of it. I do not like clutter hanging out around my shop. I don't like unnecessary stuff, just because it's more stuff that I have to put away and find a space for. And so that's like my biggest tip, my biggest overall tip if you're trying to keep a business space or a home space clean, is to get rid of unnecessary stuff. Do not keep stuff you don't use. Obviously, if you use it, keep it, but do not keep stuff that you don't use, because then you're just having to put it away over and over again when really you don't even need it in the first place. So that's like my only real hack. I will say, like in this shop, you won't see like the super fancy hacks that you see on like Pinterest, I guess. I hope that makes sense. It's just put away more than anything. So that is one thing. The disclaimer that I have to give is that we don't do anything hacks, or we don't have any like fancy hacks. And starting from there, I don't keep anything we don't actually use. The next tip I have is that every single thing in the shop has a place. I don't so much worry about it being the best possible place for it to be, but everything does have a place. The reason why I just worry about it having a place and not necessarily the best possible place is so that it can get put away. I don't know if maybe this is a personality thing. Like I think that I definitely have the type of personality, whereas if I thought through the best, most efficient possible place, I would definitely make it a bigger job than it ever needed to be, and then it wouldn't get done. And I can't function in a place that's not organized and clean, or at least stuff put away. And so that would be very, very bad for my workflow if the shop was not clean. And so I really just worry about stuff having a specific spot that it goes to, so that at the end of the sewing day, we can put everything away and it stays clean. I don't worry about it being the most efficient. Like I can look at stuff right now, like our stabilizer rolls are in a actually very inefficient spot, but they're always put away. And so I worry a lot less about the efficiency of it. Obviously, I worry about efficiency in the sense that like if it's a huge pain, I will move it. But I worry much, much more about it being able to be put away so everyone knows where it goes rather than finding the exact right spot. Like the exact right spots for a stabilizer might be on a shelf, but then we'd have to hang a shelf. And we're not doing that. So I just worry about it having a spot so that it can get put away rather than it being the best spot in the world and most efficient. There are a few tools that we have that make this very easier, I guess, easier as far as like getting stuff away and using it functionally. There are a few tools that we have. We have IKEA rolling carts that we use the crap out of. Like we have one for all of our small machine items and then one for all of our threads, and they get rolled out and then put away every time we sew, and it makes it really, really easy. So that is something that if you're an embroiderer, for sure you would want to have one of these in your shop, or if you're a sewer, you'd want to have one in your space. But also I could see this being useful for like literally any Etsy seller. I'm a huge fan of rolling carts, and they make staying clean very easy. We get ours from IKEA, but you can get them from like Target, and yeah, like Walmart. You can get them on Amazon, you know. The next thing that we have is the IKEA Alex drawers for our desk. You can't see them, but they're like right here. They just support our desk, and they make it to where we can have desk items like staplers and 3-hole punch and Post-it notes, but hidden away. And so that helps a lot. And then the last thing that, like the last, I guess, item that helps us stay really organized is huge storage rooms or huge storage units in our storage room. I don't think we could get by without these. They are absolutely critical for embroidery, or I guess not embroidery, but for staying organized. So definitely having big storage units, really, really helpful. So those are like the things that we use in order to stay more organized in our shop. The next thing that we do at our shop, and we have always done this, we've always had the expectation that stuff gets put away at the end of the sewing day. So we don't worry so much about it during the sewing day, just because there's a lot of stuff that you get out and keep out the whole time you're sewing. But even when our shop was in my grandma's basement, which is where we started, we have always had the expectation that everything gets put away in its place before you go home. Now that doesn't mean that the shop gets vacuumed and swept and disinfected before we go home, but we at least have the expectation that everything gets put away. It gets put back where it belongs. And that really, really helps in keeping an organized space, is just the consistency of every time we get a lot of stuff out, by the time that we are ready to go, it's all put away. It just helps keep stuff really clean. I feel like part of the biggest problem with messes in homes and messes in any space is that people just don't put stuff away. And so if you can just get the expectation that we are going to put stuff away for your employees, for you, it really will massively help with keeping your space clean, because obviously you have already established that you're only keeping the stuff that you need. Everything has a place, even if it's not the most efficient place. And then at the end of every time that you're done, you are putting everything back where it goes. That is something that has always been the expectation in my business for my employees and myself, and has had a drastic effect on keeping our space clean. So that is kind of the tips I have for keeping the space organized, for keeping stuff put away, for keeping the messy stuff out. As for actually keeping it clean, like vacuumed and swept and all that kind of stuff, I'm not as good at that. I'm much better at keeping stuff organized. As for actually keeping it clean, I swear by this little Roomba dupe. Here, I'll go get him. This little Roomba dupe is like awesome. I love this thing. He was 150, 160 bucks. And he just roams around. He's super easy. I really, really like this vacuum. I'll link it in the description. It came from Amazon. I swear by him. We put everything up and run him. Well, we try to. We try to get everything off the floor and run him before we leave. But he just goes around, picks up all of our thread, all of our dust. I really swear by that vacuum. I like it. I want one for my house too, but we haven't done that yet. But I really want one because I love that. I call him he because we call him Jarvis, but I really like that vacuum. In addition to running the vacuum, basically every time we sew, we also do regular cleaning of the bathroom. We wipe down the table, all that sort of stuff. Like I said, I don't worry about that as much. Pretty much, I don't have like a schedule for it. Pretty much when it looks dirty, I clean it, and that's about it. But we do that semi-regularly because we use the space, so obviously sometimes it looks dirty. So that is kind of how we just keep it clean. I know all of this sounds simple and silly because it's so elementary, I guess, where it's just like have a place to put stuff and then put it away. But I really do think that sometimes people overcomplicate organization because they're worried about making it absolutely perfect, when in reality, all you need to do is literally just have a place to put something and then put it away when you're done using it, and your shop will always look clean. So I guess like the lesson here is to not overcomplicate it, keep it simple, know that we keep a, I think, very clean shop, and it is not complicated at all. It's not done by fancy hacks. It's literally just we put stuff away and everything has a place, and we don't keep stuff that we're not using, and then we have this cool vacuum. And that's about it. Obviously, it's very, very important because it's very refreshing to walk into a clean shop whenever you are ready to sew, and just have everything organized. And also when you like make new hires and all those sorts of things, it's very nice that they can know where the scissors are every single time, or where the mailers are, all those sorts of things. So that is how and why we keep a clean embroidery studio. If you want more embroidery specific videos, please let me know in the comments. Obviously I can make them. That's what I've been doing for the past 8 years. So if that is something you guys want more of, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.